Hello guys, it is Teenage Marvel Fan back with another video, and in today's video, I will be reviewing the latest episode of Guardians of the Galaxy, which was on last weekend, and the episode is titled Paranoid, and in this episode we take a trip to Asgard. So we start off the episode right where the last episode left off. The Guardians were taken to Asgard by Valkyrie, and then, well, now Thor shows up, and then they're getting ready to go, save the world again. But then the Destroyer shows up and starts fighting them. And throughout this whole episode, everybody's like arguing and like blaming each other for being Darkhawks. Like Rocket keeps saying that Star-Lord's a Darkhawk. Gamora thinks that Star-Lord is a Darkhawk too. Stuff like that. So then they're doing that, and then they're fighting the Destroyer, but then Odin shows up, and obviously the Destroyer stops attacking because it's Odin, and so then he says that Valkyrie, Heimdall, and Thor disobeyed his orders. So then Heimdall and Valkyrie are sent. Like, their punishment is that they have to stand guard of the statues, which is basically like they basically just have to stare at a wall for days, which, that's super boring. And then the Guardians, along with Thor, are in the dungeon. And while they're in the dungeon, they're still arguing with each other, but Loki's there. And then Groot is able to get them out of the cell. Rocket, Thor, and Groot are in a cell together, so they're able to open that up. And then they decide to not let the other Guardians out, because they have to go get Heimdall's sword so that they can open the Bifrost and go to the Darkhawk dimension. And it's easier to break into the armory with less people, so bringing Quill, Drax, and Gamora with them would make it harder. But then they also have to bring Loki, because Loki is good with getting by the Destroyer. So then they break out Loki, and then they go into the armory, and they see the Destroyer. And then they all start fighting, but then Loki disappears. Then, then they're fighting again, and then Loki reappears, and he, like, I don't think he stabs the Destroyer, but he basically, like, powers it off. And then, the Guardians, the rest of them with Thor are heading over to the armory, but then they notice that Rocket is trying to take the power source out of the Destroyer, and then that's when we find out that Rocket was a Darkhawk the whole time. And I kind of saw this coming, because throughout the episode, Groot kept trying to get Rocket's attention, but Rocket would never listen to him, and Rocket kept saying that Quill was a Darkhawk, and he basically just wasn't acting like he normally would, so he's a Darkhawk. And then he takes the power source of the Destroyer, straps onto his chest, and he turned it into a bomb, and he's going, and if that bomb gets set off, then it's going to destroy Asgard. So he's basically a suicide bomber, but I mean, he's a robot, so it doesn't really matter too much, I guess. So then everybody has to chase him through the halls. Loki disappears again, and then they run by the other Guardians, like Quill and Gamora and Drax, and then they let them out, fill them in on what happened, and then they run by Heimdall and Valkyrie. They fill them in on what happened. So then they're all chasing after this Darkhawk, and then Groot jumps on the back of the Darkhawk, because the Darkhawk's like flying through there, and then he just like stabs through the Darkhawk's back, and then basically kills him, I guess. right in front of Odin, so like they end up in the throne room, and then Odin's sitting there on his throne, and then Groot stabs him, and then they just fall right in front of Odin. And they're like, "Huzzah! Yay! The little tree saved the day." But then the bomb starts ticking again, so then they have to disarm the bomb. So then Odin says that he'll just destroy it. But no, he can't destroy it because the bomb will destroy Asgard. So they have to find another way. And that is when Loki pops up again, and he drains the power out of the bomb somehow, using his scepter, I think. So then he's like, "Oh, look at that, Father. I saved the day once again. I'll accept my reward now." But then Odin just starts talking about how great Thor's plan was, when this wasn't really even his plan. I get that Loki is like the bad guy and Thor's the good guy, but Odin really treats Loki unfairly. Like Loki did just save Odin's life, but he's like, yeah, I don't really care. Um, so he's not going back in the dungeon, I don't think. But I mean, Odin could really care less. Um, and then that's pretty much where the episode ends off, because then Odin gives the Guardians permission to go into the Dark Hawk dimension and save everyone. And then that's what happens in the next episode, and the review for that will be up very soon. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video, so I can bestow all my Marvel knowledge upon you.